And we have watched game 4, and we watched the Leafs beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-0 to take a 3-1 series lead. That's un, deux, trois.
Yeah, that's right. Get a little French in there. I like that.
Un, deux, trois.
Trois to right? That's where we're at right now. Trois
They do it backwards, so it'd be un, le trois.
Oh, there's the podcast title right there. Un,
le trois.
le trois. I like that. Yeah, man. The Leafs go into Montreal, win game 3, win game 4 on back-to-back nights, and now have a 3-1 series lead stranglehold over the Montreal Canadiens.
Yep, they have a chance to close this thing out Thursday night, and let's do that. Let's not fuck around with this. Let's just end this.
Jets are waiting, like that Edmonton Winnipeg series. You know what though, man? 3 straight games.
Hard. That was hard to watch.
3 straight games went to overtime in that series. Okay, it was that series was close. That series wasn't a sweep, in my opinion. Like, yeah, it ended up a sweep, but
a goal here, a goal there. Every game was 1 goal.
That series could be 2-2 and still going right now. Easy, but it's not. It's over. The Jets are waiting. Let's bury the Habs on Thursday night, and let's get this fucking thing cooking. The Leafs and the Winnipeg Jets. Bring on Connor Hellebuck. Let's see what's up.
Well, the hardest win to get is game 4.
No, for sure. But
the 4th win.
These guys look like they're ready for it, man. Like, honestly, I'm just going to be honest here. Like, yeah, you got to win the games, whatever. Got to play the games. But the Habs look defeated to me already. You're looking at that bench tonight. They're all shaking. They're how many people on that Habs team right now is thinking, oh, we're taking these guys in the next 3 games, no problem. I would say probably not.
I mean, they've got to try. They've got to try and think.
But be realistic about it.
No, none of them. None
of them. They're thinking we're done. We're not beating these guys 3 straight. None. It's not happening.
And here's the weirdest part about this series. The entire series, Matthews, 1 goal. Marner, no goals. JT, out since 10-minute mark of the first period of the first game.
Yeah.
Leafs, 3-1 series lead.
Yeah, man.
This is where depth comes in to play.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that later. Secondary scoring and the depth. Yeah, 100%. I've got that in some of my notes that I want to get to later. But let's take it right from the top here, okay? John Tavares, after the game 3 win, they're coming back in the locker room. One of the trainers or doctors or whatever is holding up JT's on the phone on the FaceTime call. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Oh, dude. They're doing these like mini blueprint episodes now after the wins, right?
Yeah.
So
I got a lot going on. I can't just sit and watch YouTube clips.
Dude, it's a minute clip on Instagram.
I'll check it out.
You got to go to their Instagram. It's literally
what happened?
Clip. They're coming back off the ice after the game 3 win, and one of the trainers or whatever, one of the staff is like holding up an iPhone, and it's John Tavares on like FaceTime. And he's just grinning like ear to ear, and they're all like, Johnny. It was great. I loved it. He was looking good. He was sitting there like very coherent, smiling. Like it was all. He didn't speak. They cut it, but you could hear the team saying they're all like, Johnny.
Well, they're good. They should win this series for JT.
It was great. So I just wanted to throw that. I thought you would have seen that, but
no, I haven't seen it yet. But let's get into the game, man.
So yeah, so Foligno,
he's out again.
Can't go again. The groin must be fucking flared up to the max.
Yeah, like if you can't go in a game like this, you got to have a flared up groin. It's the only excuse for not playing in the playoffs is a flared up groin.
And I'm not going to go back to Foligno after this. I just thought I'd touch on him off the top here. Yeah, big problems with the Foligno groin, but man, like. Okay, he's not playing game 5. I'm keeping him out game 5, 100%. Because it looks like they're going to win this series. There's no need for him to play game 5, right? Even if he's like, I can go. I'm like, no. What do you think on that?
I think it depends. If he's cleared at 100%, you play him.
I wouldn't. Why?
But
What's the point?
if
What's
he's
the point?
not, if he's only 90, if he's anything less than 100%, you say sit it out.
Well, when's he ever going to be 100? Is he going to even be 100%? How many days did they have off before this series started? Like 5-6 days. He already had some time off with the whatever's going on, groin. Obviously, we think.
Obviously, they say shoulder,
but yeah, we say groin.
We say groin.
But like he had 5. Okay, he missed some time. He came back, played the last 2 games of the regular season, I believe. And then they had another 5 days off, and he's good to go for game 1. And then now all of a sudden, after game 2, flaring up again. So I'm like, look, take some time here. We have a 3-1 series lead. Take some more fucking time because we're going to need you more, in my opinion, against the Jets than we are to finish this out against the Montreal Canadiens. So we'll see what happens, but it's concerning. Like they're playing really well, but if they end up doing this on Thursday and they beat the Habs, 4-1 and take the series 4-1, that Winnipeg series is going to look a lot different than this. Like I still like the Leafs' chances, but the Jets can fucking bang around,
The Jets can, the Habs, but the Jets can score.
Jets can score.
That's kind of the difference. Is Montreal has a really tough time generating offense, but the Jets do not.
Sure,
Jets do not, and of course the Jets were higher in the standings. It's going to be better competition. If they get by Montreal. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
No, for sure. But everyone's feeling good with the 3-1 series lead. And just like I said off the top, like Montreal looks deflated to me. Like that bench.
Wouldn't you be as a if the shoe was on the other foot, how deflated would you be if you won game 1, lost the next 3, and needed to win tonight and the Leafs lost 4-0?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You would feel that it's over.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So let's get into the game. So the game starts tonight, and
Jack Campbell in net. No surprise. We talked about that last night.
Yeah, good call. Good call on that.
Well, obviously now in retrospect, but like I never thought there was any doubt. Like you're not after like he's killing it. He's killing it here. Like you're not taking Jack out. It's just not happening. So Campbell gets the start in the back-to-back like we thought he would. And before we get to the actual game, Keefe makes some lineup changes at about 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, whatever. Some news comes out that they didn't even say who was coming out. They just said that Brooks was going to draw in and Dermott was going to draw in. He didn't say who was coming out. We find out that Nash comes out for Brooks and Sandin comes out for Dermott. What did you think of that?
Okay, the Brooks for Nash I liked because I felt like Brooks, Thornton, Spezza was a really good line at the end of the year.
Yep.
And Brooks played really well with those guys. It just had some sort of chemistry that I liked. Sandin for Dermott, I was a little perplexed by that.
Same.
Because I thought Sandin had been one of their best defensemen this series.
Okay, do you think that maybe he was just like, he's speaking now. I can't hear it obviously, but I'm interested to hear what he says. But do you think maybe that he was just like, okay, it's a back-to-back. Sandin hasn't played a lot. Nash hasn't played a lot.
And you want to keep Dermott a little bit fresh.
This is what I'm saying. So it's a back-to-back. You know what? Like, he was able to get Galchenyuk in and able to get Engvall in. So maybe he's like, you know what? I'm going to get everybody a game here. So everyone's feeling good, like they've contributed and can contribute if we need them going forward. Not the worst call. Obviously, you look at the result. Everything worked out great. Like when Sandin was hurt for most of the regular season, that third pairing of Bogosian and Dermott were great all season. So I don't really have a problem with it. But game 5.
Well, we'll see what happens in game 5.
Yeah.
The only thing I was worried about was I thought if they lost this game, you're going to, even though it really probably had nothing to do with it, you're going to get those Leaf fans who would be like, why didn't Sandin play?
Sure.
We would have won the game had Sandin played, but that's all a wash now because they win. So the game starts. It's kind of these teams have been doing this. The first periods are just these like feel me out kind of thing,
Was not feeling the first period, man.
I haven't felt the first period in any series.
No, it's weird.
Or any game in a series. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've just been so sloppy in the first period. The second periods have been dynamite.
Oh, the second periods have been incredible. Spezza had a breakaway like 2 minutes into the game, and
Price made
Price made a good save.
He went powerful.
couple power plays back and forth in the first.
Both teams can't fucking score a power play goal.
No.
Although the Leafs did.
At this point, yes. At this point, when they had their first power play, when the Leafs did in the first period, at this point of the game, Thornton was still on the top power play unit. And I'm like, what? Like, really? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Like, anyway, it changed later in the game. And we'll get to that later. But I just was like, really? Like, Willie's not out there and Thornton is, but he switched it later. But other than like pretty uneventful first period, no score after one.
Yeah, no score after one. We go into the second period. Who gets it going?
Dude.
Who gets it going? For everybody out there who's ever been like, trade Nylander.
I've been there a time or two.
I've never been there.
Not recently, but the whole contract thing would piss me off.
Okay, the contract thing, yeah, sure, that pisses people off. But I've always defended that he's a great hockey player.
Well, he's getting a hell of a lot better.
And
like he's just getting better and better.
4 goals in 4 games.
It's crazy,
leading
man.
the team in scoring.
That line tonight, Kerfoot, Galchenyuk, Nylander, their best line by a fucking mile, all night long. Kerfoot, almost an offside play. Like Galchenyuk kind of dragged his foot off the ice. Whatever. Wasn't offside. Maybe it was, but they didn't call it offside.
Oh, if it was, they would have challenged it.
Well, I don't think you can anymore because you're allowed to lift your. You don't see offsides being challenged anymore because they changed the rule so that you can lift your foot. The skate doesn't have to be on the ice.
Yeah, but either way, onside.
Yeah. And so Kerfoot gets to Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk makes a nice little sweet pass in tight to Nylander. Nylander fucking pops it backhander home past Price. Willie puts it in for his 4th goal of the series. 4 straight games to make it 1-0 for the Leafs. This guy's on fucking
He's the icebreaker, man. He's the icebreaker. Oh my God.
This guy's on fucking fire. Everything he touches is just like, give me the fucking puck.
And he looks fantastic too. Like his play all over the ice is just great. He's hard on the puck. He's playing the body. His hair looks good.
Yeah, he's got a little mustache going in. I like that. He's got this guy doesn't need help in the confidence department. Okay. We're talking ladies, any part of the confidence, like the way he plays hockey, the money he makes, his hair, women, the whole
Did you ever see years ago when they did the 24/7 Leafs and Red Wings?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember when they were at I think it's the beer garden.
Yeah, the Christmas market. And
the Christmas market. That's it.
Yeah.
And all the girls came over. And
Mitch was there, Hyman, Matthews, and Willie.
And there's like a group of young girls, and they all want their picture taken with Willie.
Yeah. The other 3 guys, Mitch, Austin, and Hyman, they
took the pictures.
Yeah, they're like, we'll just step out of this one. Go ahead, Willie. So yeah, they not hurting in the confidence department.
No,
my whole point here. But now his confidence must be like, fuck yeah, I'm doing it in the playoffs. I'm putting the puck in every fucking game. Confidence, like I wouldn't be surprised if he fucking scores again on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. I'm expecting it actually. Like,
yeah, I'll be shocked if he doesn't.
Yeah, like seriously, it's crazy. Willie Nylander, holy hell, man, very impressive.
Ooh. So 1-0 Leafs.
Leafs were all over them in the second period. I thought,
which they have been all series.
Oh my God, they had them hemmed in. Like it honestly looked like men against boys. And then here we go. The Habs had a couple chances here and there, and Campbell was good throughout the game. We'll get to Jack in a bit, but here we go. Galchenyuk and Spezza end up slipping away on a 2-on-1. Gally with a beauty fucking saucer pass over to Spezza. Spezza puts it off Price's arm, and it goes top shelf. 2-0 Leafs. Whoo. Feeling real good at this point. Feeling real good here. Galchenyuk setting up both of the first goals. What? Not even in the lineup for game 1. Setting up the first 2 goals. Gally.
I know. He had a great game tonight. He had a great game. And I don't think he should have been scratched for game 1.
No.
He's played so good. Yeah, in retrospect.
I'll
But
say
anyway.
one thing about Galchenyuk right now. He think he's coming out of the lineup again?
I wouldn't take him out now.
Zero chance.
Zero.
Look what he did in tight on both of those first two goals.
What did Riley Nash do? What have you seen Riley Nash do? He's been hurt. He hasn't played. He's a step behind.
No.
Why would you replace him with Galchenyuk?
I just think they were thinking like defensive. Well, they didn't really replace him with Galchenyuk. It was more, I don't know, two guys came out. But
yeah, I think with Nash, they were thinking veteran, been in the playoffs before. He's won before.
He knows how to shut it down.
Yeah, and I think he's a great depth guy to have. But at this point, he is not better than Galchenyuk or Engvall or even Brooks on that fourth line with Spezza and Thornton.
We'll see how this plays out going forward. Like if they start to get some guys back, Foligno, depending on how far they go, if Tavares can end up finding a way back, which would be incredible. But regardless of what happens, I do not see Galchenyuk coming out of the lineup. I just don't see it. Like, I think he is in to stay. I think it would be a gigantic mistake. Like, look at the fucking play. Look at the first two goals that he set up. Like, he made great plays on both of those goals to get the puck over to Nylander on the first one and to get the puck over to Spezza on the second one. I think he's been great. What a trade. Like, I was not a fan of that trade initially. What a fucking trade. Like, What a trade that has turned out to be. Like,
you got to take chances on high draft picks like that.
Another fucking win for Kyle Dubas. Like, holy shit. Like, a guy that's basically played himself out of the league. Doobie's like, no, come over. We'll send you to the Marlies. We'll get you like some coaching with our skill development, contributing in the playoffs. Like,
good to go.
Who would have thunk it? But so after the Leafs go up 2-0, Leafs get a power. Oh, here we go.
Leafs get a power play. The power play looks like all their other power plays. Doesn't look good.
No. Here's what happened on this power play. They finally take Thornton off of the top unit.
Yeah.
Second power play of the game. Okay. Finally, because Willie scored the first goal, I think Keith's like, okay, we got to put him out there on the fucking with the big boys. He's the hottest. He's the hottest stick on the team.
Maybe in the playoffs right now.
Right. So how can he not be on the first unit? So Keith makes the adjustment and he's like, okay, Joe, take a seat. Willie, you're out there because he's on absolute fire. Top unit doesn't score. Second power play unit comes out. There's 30 seconds left on the power play. The second unit comes out. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it?
And Joe Thornton.
Let's just hit it. Let's just hit it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a special old man version of Just the Tip.
Perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
So, Spezza comes in over the line. He sees Thornton waiting. And this is what I love about this tip more than any other tip is that Joe, I don't even know, realized that he tipped this.
Yeah,
I think the pass was just so perfect.
You're
like
right.
Spezza was like, I know tips. You know tips. We could do this in our sleep. He sent it like this soft but kind of hard pass. Yeah. And Thornton, it honestly just hit his stick because he had his tip in the right place.
That's right, which obviously he would. Spezza with kind of a shot, kind of a pass. Thornton,
a soft shot.
Thornton tips it in for a power play goal, and it's 3-0 Leafs. An old,
or as Chris Cuthbert would say, a redirection.
Yeah, come on, Cuthbert. Come on, seriously. Like, just call it what it is. Call a tip a tip. We've talked about this before. A tip. Call a fucking tip a tip. So Thornton just like, it was a soft, dirty, old tip.
Yeah. It was a tip. Like, he didn't even know what happened. But when you're that grizzled and you know your way around the net that much, you just know where to put the tip.
Exactly. He knows.
And it was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. So
Joe,
congratulations.
Yeah, like I'm not 100% sure of this, but I'm pretty sure I could hear on the broadcast when that play was developing. I'm pretty sure I heard Thornton say right when it happened, just before it happened? I'm pretty sure he called out to Spezza, who he knew was behind him. He said, "Tip,
Hit my tip.
hit my tip." And that's exactly what Spezza did. He hit it right on the tip. Thornton makes no mistake. So now here we go. The second power play unit. Thornton gets on the second power play unit. Not only does he score, but he gets a fucking tip in. It's 3-0 Leafs. Very special playoff edition of Just the Tip.
Yes.
An old, dirty, soft tip from Joe Thornton.
A gorgeous one, though.
Incredible. 3-0 Leafs.
3-0 Leafs. I was feeling comfortable at this point. Not completely relaxed, but comfortable.
Little Brooksy gets a little excited behind the net, takes a penalty late in the second period.
He does take a penalty late. He was kind of getting into it tonight.
Yeah, he was
maybe just trying to stay in the lineup. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, the Leafs end up killing it off. Not a good time to take a penalty, but anyway, the Leafs kill it off, and they head to the second intermission with a 3-0 lead. And, I'm still like, okay, let's see what happens in the third here, because the Habs came hard in game 3 last night. But I'm feeling very good going into the third period with a 3-0 lead, right?
Yeah, I was feeling good, especially because the last game, they only had the 1-goal lead, but they were able to shut it down and hold them to that 3-goal lead. I was like, I feel comfortable with this. Like, even if Montreal scores, and maybe they score 2, I don't know if Montreal's going to score 3.
No, well, hell,
to tie it.
I'm thinking with the offensive problems of this Montreal Canadiens team, I'm like, they're not scoring fucking 4 goals. There's no way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They have so much trouble offensively to score goals that I was comfortable with a 3-goal lead. Had it been a 2-goal lead, 1-goal lead, I would have been nervous, but we got in there.
So talking about that, okay, where are we
going? And well, I just want to say Montreal did put the pressure on in the third period.
Well, hang on, before we go to
Jack Campbell was
without a doubt. Before we go to the third here, check this stat out: the Leafs have outscored the Montreal Canadiens 8-1 in the second period.
Yeah.
In the second period.
Did you just steal that from
this series?
Did you just steal that from Sportsnet? Because they said it like 40 times.
Yeah, Cuthbert, man. I'm stealing all my shit from Cuthbert. He's my go-to. If Cuthbert says it, it must be fucking true.
Thornton scored with like
unless when he's talking
Thornton
about
scored with like 5 minutes left in the second period, and for the last 5 minutes, I heard that stat like 40 times.
Which.
But thank you for stealing from Cuthbert and Simpson.
Well, it's a pretty impressive stat.
It is. They kept what they were actually talking about was how good Montreal was during the regular season in second period goals. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
But apparently they dominated in the second period. And then they kept talking about how Toronto is killing them in the second period.
Like let's be honest. Like I said, the Leafs have outscored the Habs 8-1 in the second period so far this series. That is the series right there. That's the series right there.
Yeah.
You're not going to. You can't get outscored 8-1 in the second period in 4 games and expect to win a fucking series.
What is it about the second period?
I don't know.
Like the Leafs don't score in the first, really, and in the third they've been on their heels the last couple of games. But the second period they're just clicking.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it. Why can't we come out? Why can't we come out and have old man tips in the first?
I know. Hopefully we will on Thursday as we get going here. But anyway, as you were saying, we go to the third and Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell was stellar again. Montreal put the pressure on. Like, Montreal doesn't have – remember when they played Boston in the playoffs a couple of years ago? Like, Boston really piles it on. And they would end up beating Freddie and making the game really close. Montreal doesn't have that. I don't know what it is.
No, you could say, like, when you're talking about Boston, you could literally say they never stop coming.
No, they never stop coming. They're coming all over everybody all the time. They just never quit coming. They come everywhere. They come everywhere. Montreal, though, they'll come, but then it's like
a little bit of come.
Just a little bit. Like, and then they need a little break, but then they come again. I don't know. Montreal they can't. Boston can come hard.
Boston can come hard. It's like the Habs want to come, but they can't fully come. They just can't
No,
quite.
they can't fully come.
No, they can't finish properly. Like
They're trying. They're trying their best.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a. They got a semi, almost a boner,
But they can't. They just can't come.
No, they can't come. But
But
look,
they did come as hard as they could in the third period. And Jack Campbell,
how many times do you think in the last 60 seconds we just said come?
48.
Anyone? A lot of come.
A lot.
But look,
Well,
Campbell
they did
played
come.
great. But I thought honestly, Campbell was great. Obviously sensational, without a doubt. He has been incredible. The Leafs, I thought, did play, even though the Habs were coming. I thought the Leafs played a lot tighter in the third period tonight than they did in Game 3. Like last night in Game 3,
Well, it makes it harder. It makes it harder to come when it's tighter.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think the Leafs tightened it right up tonight. They were a little looser last night in Game 3, in the third period of Game 3. They were a lot tighter tonight in Game 4 in the third period, I thought. Even though like Campbell was sharp, but he wasn't like he was in position. He wasn't flopping all over the place.
No,
making
that's the
saves.
thing. But he doesn't have to.
No, I know, because
Montreal's
I think the
not
Leafs
forcing him to make acrobatic saves, and the Leafs are playing great defense.
That's where I wanted to go with. Like I thought the Leafs just played tighter. Like they were better defensively tonight than they were last night. And yeah, it's all around good job shutting it down.
So Galchenyuk scores an empty netter. Hyman missed an empty netter.
Habs pull Price with like just under 5 minutes left,
and
Hyman misses an empty net. Matthews goes for an empty net. I think he was going to hit it, but Perry got his little bit of wood on that.
But again, it was like Montreal was in Toronto's zone, but I never felt uncomfortable about it. Like they never really got any exceptional chances. And then finally Galchenyuk scored the empty netter, which he deserved tonight. He had a great game.
Dude, 2 helpers and a goal. Like, come on.
So they move on. They win the game. They get a 3-1 series lead. Now, I want to ask you one thing about this series so far.
Well, hang on before you do. So Galchenyuk with the empty netter. Leafs fucking bow tie this motherfucker. They win it 4-0. They go up, like you said, 3-1 in the series. Our boy, Jack Campbell, 32 saves for his first career playoff shutout.
Yeah, that's
or shutout. Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
Shout out for the
Jack
shutout.
Shout out. That's hard to say.
Got his first playoff win on Saturday. Got his first playoff shutout on Tuesday. That's a pretty good week so far for Jack Campbell.
Wayne Campbell, excellent. Keep it rolling, Jackie boy.
All right.
Okay, go ahead, Chad.
Well, I was going to talk about Campbell's shutout, but we just did. And now I'll move on to my next point. Are you a little like we're loving how the Leafs are playing and how they're dominating? Are you a little let down by this series? In the sense of like, do you remember how when they played Columbus last year, because they couldn't score, we were always hyped up and pissed off. And in the Boston series, it was edge of your seat every night.
Yeah.
This series kind of feels like just a couple, like it feels like they're just going to work. They're packing their lunchbox, they're going in, beating Montreal, and then going home. It doesn't really, to me, I kind of feel a little let down at this series.
Yeah.
What about you?
Fair enough, but like,
I want them to win. I want them to win 4. I want them to win 4 in a row after losing game 1.
Same here. Like I'm cool with like not like nail biters and have it go 7 games. Like just wrap this fucker up and like let's move on. But
it was just the hype.
No, I know.
Toronto, Montreal, and if it ends on Thursday in another 4-0 win, it'll be like, okay, we just fucking destroyed
that's good.
them.
I find that more impressive than like having it be close every game and they're winning 2-1 games and whatever, and it goes 6 or 7 games. Like I would rather them just put it to bed. And even though maybe it wasn't the most exciting series, whatever, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like I don't care.
If they get by this, there will be more exciting series.
Exactly. So like a lot of the playoff series we've been used to for the last several years with the Leafs, especially the Boston series, like it's edge of your fucking seat excitement every fucking shift.
And I don't feel that this year.
No,
I feel kind of like they're just getting the job done, and
something feels different. Like it feels like I'm not questioning it. I'm just thinking like, yeah, they're gonna do this. Like,
And
they're gonna
I'm
do
not
it.
nervous. I remember in those Boston series, like before every game, I'd be like, oh, fuck, here we go, here we go. And then I'd be watching the game and I'd be so nervous every time Boston had the puck and they're coming in Toronto's zone. You're like, you turn away from the TV. You can't even look because you're just so badly thinking, oh my God, they're going to tie it or they're going to take the lead or whatever it was. But in this, I watched dead on. And even before the games, I'm not really nervous. I just feel different about this. And I don't know if that's a good thing or if I'm just so used to being tortured that I kind of feel like the only way to have a great series is if I'm on the edge of my seat shitting my pants. I don't know.
No, you're right. Like, I feel the same way to an extent, but also I think like they're a better team than Montreal. And, take game one out of the equation. Like, I was nervous going into game two because I'm like, fuck, if they drop this one, then we got fucking a serious problem here. But they didn't let game one get to them, and they've just put the pedal to it like ever since. So, it is what it is. Like, it's refreshing in a way, I find, for them to be like, we're not going to let a team back in if we have a lead or whatever. Like, we're just going forward and we're going to fucking do whatever needs to be done to shut it down or win the game or whatever. So in years past, that wasn't the case, right? Like, they couldn't hold leads. They, couldn't defend very well. And it's like, was nail biting shit. We're talking about the Leafs Habs here. If we get past the Habs and it's the Jets, and then we see what happens, like if we can go further, I feel like that will eventually
it'll pick up. It'll pick up.
It will pick up. But I want this over on Thursday night. I'm just over.
Yeah, me too.
Care.
I don't want to drag it out. As much as I'm thinking about this might be a dud of a series, in that sense of the edge of your seat shit, I'm totally happy with 5 games. And not even a nail biter on Thursday. Like if they do again what they did tonight, I'm happy.
100% agree. So
all right, so the Leafs win, take a 3-1 series lead. Where do you want to go?
Well, a couple quick things before we go. We won't keep it too long. Secondary scoring. You were kind of mentioning it off the top. I don't know if we were recording or if you were talking about it before we started recording. But anyway, the secondary scoring.
No, we were recording.
So like top line not really contributing offensively, like Hyman, Matthews, they had their chances. Marner, whatever. I'll get to Marner in a second. But the secondary guys,
but like, the whole series, that line has 1 goal.
Getting it done without the top line. Like, here's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought, okay, well, Nylander. Here's I'm stealing another one from Cuthbert here. Nylander, 4 goals in the series himself. The Montreal Canadiens as a whole have 4 goals in the series. So, like, what else needs to be fucking said?
Nylander's playing fantastic, but it just seems Thornton got a goal. Spets has got a goal. Well, Nylander's scoring. Galchenyuk's got a goal. Like, the secondary scoring been huge, and everyone talked about that coming in. Like, oh, the Leafs need their secondary scoring.
But Nylander on his own, if you just had his goals against the Habs goals, it would be the score 4-4. Would be tied.
Nylander 4, Montreal 4.
The Habs scored 2 in the first game, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Goose egg tonight. So they're in serious trouble. In my opinion, the Montreal Canadiens
they've only scored 4 goals.
Here.
If the Leafs can just score 2 goals or 3 goals on Thursday,
it's probably over.
Yeah.
Because Campbell has looked incredible. But back to the secondary scoring. You're right. Okay. Spezza, Kerfoot, Galchenyuk, Thornton, contributions coming from fucking everywhere. Yeah. Like, just guys.
And the defense too, like you were talking about in the last, or sorry, I shouldn't say the last podcast.
Earlier
in the first half of this podcast. Like, Sandin has a power play goal. How many points did you say the defense has? Like, they're chipping in assists, they're shooting the puck. Montreal has 0 from their defense.
Muzzin got an assist tonight, and that was the only point by a D. So I think they have like, but I don't know.
They're getting contributions all around the ice.
Yeah, it's high. Like, the Habs have 0 contribution from their defense. 0 points, not even an assist. The Leafs have, I think, 8, 9, or 10 points from their defensive core in this series. Yeah. That's fucking incredible. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are, I don't know. I was on Twitter and shit, and people are still kind of ripping the Leafs, saying they've got to play better than this if they want to move on in the playoffs. And I'm like, well, they're getting the job done. Like they're winning, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like look,
we're talking about they're getting contributions from the defense, from their secondary scoring. Yeah, Matthews and Marner are being shut down, but Montreal's putting all their attention on Matthews, Marner, Hyman.
You're right. Like I know Montreal has problems with scoring, but like look, like Montreal's not like I don't know. Like I don't consider the Habs a great team, but I think they're a decent enough team that like
they're a good team.
They're a good team. So, I don't look at it as like, oh, the Leafs, whatever. Like, what were you saying? The people on Twitter are saying that the Leafs aren't what?
Basically, because Matthews and Marner aren't producing, they're like, well, if they don't produce, we can't go far in the playoffs. But I'm like, this is how the playoffs work. You target the best players. So
I think it's
being double teamed. Marner's his time and space is being taken away, but it opens up.
Matthews has been
Spets and Nylander.
Dude, Matthews has been anything but invisible in this series.
Oh, he's been amazing, but he just hasn't scored.
Every shift you've noticed him, so he's all over the place, and his time will come.
Game 5.
I would not be surprised. Game 5, he fucking buries a couple goals. Would not be surprised at all. So I'm not concerned in any way. I would be concerned if that line was being held off the score sheet and Willie wasn't scoring, and there was okay.
Just the whole team was being held up. If they were in Montreal's position.
Dude, it's like the depth and the whole deal, like up and down this roster, like Spezza scoring tonight, Thornton scoring tonight. I think Simmons has played well, even though he hasn't got on the score sheet. Galchenyuk, Kerfoot. I thought Mikheyev looked good. Like, I can't, what is there to complain about here? They looked fucking good. Like, can you pinpoint one dude and be like, he didn't look very good?
That's just Leaf fans, man. They're always going to complain.
No, but can you specifically look at this game or last night and be like, oh, I didn't like his game?
Honestly, the only player I could say that was invisible was Riley Nash.
Okay,
that would
Nash
be in
last
game
night.
3.
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody's showing up. I notice everybody on the ice, and
everybody looks good. They're playing hard. Like everything looks
even
good
Matthews
to
and
me.
Marner. Yeah, they're not producing, but I noticed them. Marner's still trying to do his thing, and he'll figure it out with the time and space being taken away. And Matthews has been a beast. He's throwing his body around. It's just a matter of time before this guy buries a few.
I agree. And tonight again, he was like, I'm just ripping from Cuthbert all night here. He went 0 for 5 to start on the faceoff draws tonight, right? And then he won 10 straight after that. And I think he finished like 13-6 on the draws, or whatever. But that's pretty impressive. They were talking in the intermission.
His faceoffs are great.
I think they were talking in the intermission about how like he stayed with it and whatever. But that's anyway. But so one more thing I want to talk about is their penalty killing in this series. They have not allowed a fucking goal. They have not allowed a goal when the Habs have had the power play. Their penalty kill is perfect. Perfect. So we're talking like,
and it doesn't matter who's on there.
No, but they usually go to Mitch and Hyman and Kerfoot and Mikheyev.
They've even used Riley Nash on there. Like,
no, for sure. But
it's been great.
Who do you think specifically is their top penalty killer? Because I kind of think it's Mitch.
Yeah, it's Marner.
So, Marner's not really doing a lot offensively right now, like on the score sheet anyway. He's getting chances, and like I think it's going to come for Mitch soon. I really do. But his contribution, like defensively, I think might be being underlooked here because again, their penalty kill has been perfect in this series. Like perfect. Literally have not allowed a fucking goal on the power play. Their penalty kill has been perfect, and I just think Mitch has been.
Yeah, well, if you're not scoring on the power play,
shut it down.
You better have a good penalty kill.
So yeah, I think Mitch, and I think offensively, Mitch and will eventually start getting it here. But
so yeah, the penalty kill has been unbelievable. Predictions for Thursday night.
Well, I think it's over. I think it's bedtime for the Montreal Canadiens. I called it in 5. None of my other predictions have come true. So I called the Leafs in 5. I'm sticking with that. And I say this puppy is fucking good night, Montreal Canadiens on Thursday night.
I'm going to say the same thing. And hopefully that happens. So we will be back Thursday night after hopefully, fingers crossed,
their first series win
since we were teenagers. No,
a long time. pretty fucking close.
Pretty close. I think 2004, right?
2004, yeah, Ottawa. It's just
Oh
been
my
a fucking disaster. But one quick thing I want to touch on before we go.
Fucking insane.
It is insane. Okay, okay. I don't know what series or what playoff run it was. I don't think it was then. It was before that.
There was no like Facebook or anything.
No, I know.
Anything back in 2000.
Just came in like after that, 2005, 2006 started coming in.
That's
but,
insane. Anyway, go ahead.
Insane. But okay, it was one of the runs, obviously, where they beat Ottawa. I think it was the year they went to the conference finals against the Hurricanes. I don't know what season that was. Do you? Was it 01 or maybe 02?
That was 2002.
Okay, so Sundin was hurt for the majority of those playoffs. He came back in the conference final and ended up scoring like a huge goal. Or maybe he came back before then anyway. But just I see a little bit of some parallels here. Like the captain goes out with an injury. Sundin was out for a lot of those playoffs. Tavares is out. Guys like who specifically two guys who led the way for that Leafs team to go to the conference finals were Gary Roberts and Alan McCauley. I don't know, call me fucking crazy, but I'm seeing a little bit of like, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but Kerfoot is kind of reminding me of like McCauley, because during the regular season, McCauley like was not really that great, but all of a sudden in the playoffs that year, he was like, he just fucking became a beast and like took it over. Like Sundin was out and he just was like, okay, I'm going to step it fucking up.
Well, he developed that chemistry with Roberts.
Well, what's going on here right now with Willie and Kerfoot?
I know it's the same thing. You're right. Hopefully
just
they get. Hopefully they get to. Yeah, no.
Did you think that or no? Or had you thought that?
I hadn't even thought of that.
Can you see it a little bit, or do you think I'm
a little bit? Not, like, I don't remember. I remember Alan McCauley wasn't like a superstar or anything like that, but he did that. I do when I think of the 2002 playoffs. I think of Alan McCauley.
Oh, him and Roberts. They took the team basically. Well, Cujo was great too, but like.
Yeah, well, you got to have great goaltending,
and their Leafs are getting that too.
I remember, yeah, they were playing so well. Do you remember people being like, "Why?" Like Sundin was ready to come back, and like, "Well, why play him? The team's winning. Why play him? Like, you're not going to play Matt Sundin."
I know
he's ready to go.
I know. I remember. I remember that too. Do you not?
And then Sundin scored the huge goal. And
oh, bless you, boys, Joe Bowen. Holy Mackinac.
They still lost the series.
So. I know that was crazy, but. Still incredible. But so just before we go then, like Jack Campbell gets his, like you said, his first career playoff win. Okay, in this series so far, his first career playoff start, his first career playoff win, his first career playoff shutout.
I already said all this.
What's next? What's the next first?
His first playoff series win.
There you go, baby. We'll see.
It's going to happen Thursday night. All right. For the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, on Twitter at the Tip In Podcast. Email us at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast or the Tip In Podcast at gmail.com. Check out our website, tipinsportsmedia.com. You can find everything to do with the podcast there. You can also check out our YouTube clips. And while you're there, go to our YouTube channel, Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. Hit like, hit subscribe. Dale uploads clips all the time of just us drinking and talking hockey.
Yeah.
Once a week.
Yeah, every now and then.
But until Thursday night, where the Leafs could win their first playoff series since before the iPhone, we'll
see you Thursday night after hopefully the first Leafs playoff series win in a long time.
I can't wait.
We will see you Thursday night after the Leafs game. Catch you later. Go, Leafs. Go.
Protect your groins.
Get those groins going, boys. Come on.